Okay, first item on the agenda is the closed session portion of the meeting. May I have a mover and seconder to go into closed session under the authorities as printed in the agenda? Tedesco and McDonald. All in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried. Time being 6:30. Okay, council discuss personal matters and some potential litigation in closed session. We do not have to go back into closed session. So time being 7:01, I'd like to call this meeting to order. First, we have the traditional territory acknowledgement, followed by a moment of silence. Council of the Township of Red Rock hereby acknowledges that we are on the traditional territory of the Robinson Superior Treaty and that the land we gather on is home of the Red Rock Indian Band, Anishinaabeg, and the Métis people. Okay, now I'd like to take this time to call Gary Nelson up. You want to come up just to the front here? I have a presentation. So everyone's aware that retired Mayor Gary Nelson received the 2021 Volunteer Service Award. So here, over here. So this is from the Minister of Culture, Citizenship and Multiculturalism, Honorable Farm Gill. And this is Gary's award for 50 years of volunteerism in the Township of Red Rock for the Township. Also, he has a certificate from Michael Gravel, MPP, Thunder Bay Superior North. And it says, Dear Gary, what a well-deserved award, all the best. Again, 50 years of volunteer service for the township. Thank you. As you know, everybody, Gary has obviously 50 years of service, fire department, Team Town, beautification committee, anything to do with recreation, obviously council, and anything, any organization that was hosted and run in the township, Gary basically volunteered for. So again, we thank you for your service, and on behalf of the township, this is for you.
These are for me.
That's for you.
I can say a few words.
Sure.
I'd like to thank the people who put my name down for this award. I know who they are. I'll get them. It's great getting this. The one I really appreciate getting was from Michael Gravel. I worked a lot with Michael Gravel in the last 17 years. He did a lot for Red Rock, and really proud to get this one. But there's a lot of people in Red Rock that deserve this. Some of them right here in the room, once right there. Beautification committee, they do a lot for this town. I spent a lot of time in Thunder Bay Hospital in the last 2 years. And every time I'm there, somebody's got to retire. And say, no, we're going to move to Red Rock. We drive down there and it's so beautiful. And you tell them it's all volunteers that do that work. Can't believe it. So I'm hoping to see somebody like Sarah up here pick up this opportunity.
Gary.
And I want to thank you all again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'd like to get a picture if you don't mind. So we'll just, if council
Yeah.
wants to come, we'll just gather around. Congratulations. Thank you, Gary.
It's my pleasure to work with you all those years on that.
Okay, administration advises of an error in the agenda. The minutes of the previous council meeting should read March 7th, 2022. Do any members of council wish to make any amendments to the agenda? Seeing none, can I have a mover and seconder for a motion to approve the agenda as amended? Oh, Muir, McDonald. All in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried. Okay, are there any declarations of interest to disclose? Seeing none. We have no presentations tonight. Other presentations? The minutes of the last scheduled meeting, March 7th, are at items 5.1 of the agenda. Are there any errors or omissions to note in the minutes? Okay, seeing none. May I have a mover and seconder for motion to approve the minutes at items 5.1? Councillor Park, Councillor McDonald. All in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried. Okay, the first matter, item 6.1, is a request from other municipalities. Do any members of council have any questions? Councillor Muir?
Yeah, I was wondering if we could support Woolwich, for the community support. They're looking for the mental health supports. I mean, that's something that we had in Red Rock. I don't know if we have any local counseling services, but that's something that we could benefit from as well too. So it'd be nice to get some support for the government for all small towns. So we can have that. It's very important.
Yeah, with this one, we would just be looking to bring it back, so we can bring it back. Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none. NOMA, the next item is 6.2 is a resolution brought back from the previous meeting. Do any members of council have any questions? This is the joint and several liability resolution. No. Any, can I have a mover and seconder for a motion to support the resolution from NOMA regarding joint and several liability? Councillor Park, Councillor Muir. All in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried. Okay, next item 6.3 is for discussion purposes relating to the donation to the Golden Club for their basket draw. Do any members of council have any questions? Councillor McDonald?
Is this something that we usually donate to? Or is this like a new thing that they're coming up with?
It's new from the Golden Club. It is something that we can participate in. Councillor Muir?
Yeah, I like the idea of the basket draw. I really do. I'm thinking we could support it with at least a $250 donation, because that could then, like, for $250, if they're making a basket for that amount, it could bring in close to $750. Like, if it's got good stuff in it. So I'm hoping that we could support. So my proposal is 250.
Okay, so is there a mover and seconder for motion to donate $250 to the Red Rock Golden Club for their basket draw? Councillor Park, Councillor Muir, all in favor? All hands rising. Motion is carried. Okay, next item, 6.4 is information purposes only regarding a letter from municipality of Greenstone on the mandatory firefighter certification. Do members of council have any questions? Councillor Muir.
So I did a little research into this, and I guess my question is, if they are looking at that mandatory certification, they're stating in one of the documents I read, I believe it was under the Fire Prevention Act, that they're basing it on whatever the municipality has decided on the level of service. So if I read it correctly, and I just need clarification on this, if our level of service is established, that would be where the minimum training requirements are at. So the higher our level of service, the higher the training requirements that would become mandatory.
Right, so for some municipalities that have, trail rescue and water
Yes.
rescue and all of that, now they have to be trained to,
And it would be
What-
mandatory.
it would be mandatory and that's at a cost of the municipality.
Yes, that's what.
So what will happen is, what I think what might happen is other municipalities are going to lower their
That's
their level
exactly
of
right.
service,
That's
right?
exactly right. Okay, so I read it
So-
correctly.
I
then-
believe we can get clarification from the
Okay.
chief when he's up earlier, but that's basically what it's coming down to. In the session that I was in, that's how I interpreted it.
Okay, all right.
Any other questions? Chief Petrie is here tonight, so we can ask at that time.
Yeah, I think you're correct in that, and there will be a lot more coming down on this. But I think nobody is arguing the fact that training is essential for firefighters, whether you're volunteer or professional. I think the issue is going to be maintaining those volunteer forces in a smaller community. And a lot of that, I think you're correct, will be based on levels of service and training required for those levels of service. But again, I'd like to hope we're not as far along in this process. I'd like to hope that there's still a lot of discussion needed on this.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, looking at it, it's because I guess they're saying that it goes under the Occupational Health and Safety Act. Right now, there's coverage there, there's training standards there established. It seems like there's too short notice for something of this nature to be dropped on municipalities. Way too much.
And we will keep you abreast on what's going on in this for sure. I mean, we're along with collectively with all other municipalities right here, specifically in Northwestern Ontario, we're monitoring this quite closely, as well as advocacy groups like NOMA and Thunder Bay District Municipal League. And so, I mean, we will keep you updated as often as we can.
Okay, next item, 6.5 is information purposes only regarding a letter from NOMA relating to the Northern Ontario Transportation Task Force. Do any members of council have questions? Councillor Muir?
Was there anybody locally on that task force? Even on the,
No, I believe Wendy Landry would be the closest
Okay.
local member and for that task force.
Okay, moving on. Item 6.6, information purposes only relating to an update from the DSAB board. Do any members of council have any questions? Okay, seeing none. Item 6.7 is discussion purposes regarding a resolution from DSAB on advocacy for federal rapid housing initiative funding. DSAB is looking for support in the form of a resolution. Do any members of council have any questions? Councillor Tedesco?
It seems that this proposal is quite complicated, and from what I'm reading, it looks like as if some of the, say, regional people are not able to get on the trail of grants and financing. Do we stand any chance at all locally? I guess, Mark, you might be able to answer that.
Well, I think what we are supporting, and in this case would be a regional approach to being represented in Northwestern Ontario and having that that rapid housing and because it's funded right now, it's funded in a way that you're not seeing that representation spread through in a what they're deeming to be a fair or equal portion. So ultimately, if we saw that in our area, I think we would definitely see benefit from it for sure.
When you say that area, are you talking about regionally or?
Well, I'm talking regionally in this case, yeah, for sure.
Because $500 million has been apportioned to the larger municipalities in Ontario. $1.5 million is waiting to be kind of picked. It's almost like as if there isn't the proper expertise in being able to say, yes, we'll take this. And
Well, I think what you have is a pool of money that in I guess in Northern Ontario or Northwestern Ontario, we're as a group, as Red Rock being a member of the district social services in the Thunder Bay region, they're looking for support from their community members to have this funding hopefully distributed in our area as well, equally.
Okay, I'll bring the resolution up. Is there a mover and seconder for a motion to support the resolution from DSAB regarding advocacy for federal rapid housing initiative funding? Councilor McDonald. Councilor Tedesco. All in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried. Okay, next matter is item 6.8 is for information purposes only relating to the 2022-2023 inspection work schedules. Do any members of council have questions? Okay, seeing none. Okay, item 6.9, information purposes only relating to the Getting Ontario Connected Act. Do members of council have any questions? Seeing none. Okay, next item is 6.10 is information purposes only relating to the expansion announcement of the Northern Ontario School of Medicine. Do members of council have any questions? We all see that there's going to be an increase, right? In people. Okay, next item is 6.11. Is information purposes only relating to a letter sent to the Honorable Greg Rickford regarding public forest road infrastructure. Do any members of council have any questions? Seeing none. A lot of correspondence. Item 6.12 is a resolution from the Township of Horn-Payne. They are looking for support, a supporting resolution on highway crossing maintenance construction expenses. Do any members of council have any questions? Councillor Tedesco.
Mark, can you give us an idea as to what sort of costs? Obviously, Horn-Payne is experiencing some additional costs. What sort of costs are we looking at in this area? Can you ballpark it?
Well, in our area, our problem is high, so we've had cost of have that program. They would share that cost. Model.
Isn't that railway crossing just north of the creek on our property?
Sorry, so basically, yeah, our crossing is right on 628, right? So we don't see the same kind of cost that other municipalities would see basically on the purpose that it's in their municipality on one of their municipally owned roads, right? So if that's the case, so we don't see a significant cost from CP Rail on this, but we do see it from a lot of our member communities that are asking for our support in this. So that's why we attached it. So in Red Rock, we aren't affected by this, but I know Horn-Payne, I know put this forward, Fort Francis,
Nippigan.
probably Nipigon as well, right? So what happens is, I mean, the maintenance on those crossings are downloaded onto the municipality, so.
Thank you.
Okay, is there a mover and seconder for a motion to support the resolution from the Township of Hornpain regarding railway crossing maintenance and construction expenses? Councillor Muir. Councillor Tedesco. All in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried. Out of water. Okay, next item is 7.1, minutes from the Red Rock Library Board, meeting February 8th, 2022. Do any members of council have any questions?
Those stats, I love seeing stats like that. That's awesome. And it's nice to see. It's nice to see it growing. It really is.
The library is quite busy, actually, and they're doing a great job. Do I have a mover and seconder for motion to receive the minutes? Councillor Muir, Councillor McDonald. All in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried. Okay. Oh, where am I? Next up is Director of Operations. Everybody has his report. Do any members of council have any questions of Mr. Westerman? Councillor Tedesco?
Yeah, I see that you're making note of the backhoe issue. Gather there's not a heck of a lot of opportunities to purchase used ones.
No, there isn't. Not what we're looking for. It's just the way the market is right now.
So this underlines my thought that we should just bite the bullet and buy a new one, period. Be done with it.
Be nice. I won't disagree with that, but
We gotta do something.
it's
Because
a
what
considerable
Trevor's driving
sum.
now is not gonna last forever. The
Yeah.
other thing is eventually we're gonna have to get something that's serviceable. So let's put that over a period of, say, 10 years, and we should be owning that quite nicely or leasing it quite nicely.
I
Oh.
do believe the CAO and the Director of Operations are still working on, but they're exhausted all options, and they will just continue to monitor that. And they'll keep us updated.
There's gonna be a heck of a lot more purchases of equipment because construction and everything is going on like crazy everywhere in our province, especially in our area here. So the opportunity to pick up something good used is pretty slim.
Yeah.
You're doing a good job there. Thanks.
Right.
Councillor Muir?
Hey, good on the safety there, Blair. Just a question about the rec center. Is there any way to get upstairs on Saturdays, 10 to 12 to the gym? There is?
Yes. Yeah, we're still booking time for
Awesome.
the gymnasium or until the 3rd of April.
Awesome. Good stuff.
Seeing no questions? No more questions or comments? Okay, do I have a mover and seconder for motion to receive the report? Councillor Park, Councillor Muir. All in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried. I do want to comment, if I don't say receive the report, sometimes I say approved. It does mean the same thing. I'm not. Sorry, it's when I try to ad lib and then I mess up. So just putting that out there. Thanks, Blair. Okay, next is item 8.2, if we can, yep. Report from the fire chief. Do members of council have any questions of Mr. Petrie? Councilor Mayor?
Just one second.
Councilor Mayor?
Do you got any update? Did you hear anything more about the levels?
So where we stand right now with this, you're going for the certification?
Yeah.
So where we are right now, we're still in a holding pattern. Pretty much, not much has been updated over the last couple of weeks. We did have a little briefing with the fire marshal in the last 2 weeks. They're pushing hard to get this through. Everybody is for it, but it's just not giving enough time for the municipalities to prepare for this and the fire departments to prepare for this. So like the way that they're doing this structure. So say I had a member join today.
Yeah.
Okay. So they only come July 1st, they only have until July 1st, 2024 to be fully certified. So if a member joined December 31st, 2021, they have 4 years. So what the chiefs are arguing is that why does a new recruit only get 2 years and members prior to January 1st have 4 years? It doesn't make sense in our eyes. And the other thing that I don't understand is the short period of time that they're trying to push this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because there is, what they're doing is they're unloading everything on the municipality. That's all they're doing. They tried that in 2018. It fell flat on its face. Like we don't have a problem with the training. It is going to take up a lot of the members' time and stuff like that. But they haven't presented it properly to the municipalities.
Yep.
And the cities and everything. That's just my opinion. From what I've sat in with the briefings and stuff like that. So yes, it's going to hurt a lot of municipalities. It's going to hurt a lot of fire departments.
So what percentage, like, do we have a percentage that are going to be either grandfathered in or one course away?
So right now we have 10 members that will have to take 2 of the courses. So I've got 10 members that are NFPA 1001, level 1, level 2. We will have to take pump ops and we'll have to take auto X. Those are the guarantee, or those are the mandatory courses that any firefighter will have to take. Everything else, those 10 members are already certified under NFPA standards. So there will be 12 more members that will have to go through the whole process, which isn't bad. But now with the meetings that we've had, just fire chiefs, the ratio or the rate that the fire chiefs are putting into place is 20 to 40% of loss of members because of this mandatory training. And it is going to hurt fire departments.
Yeah.
So we are lucky because I am begging everybody to do what they can. If they don't make their certification in the 4 years, they still have time to make their certification. What happens is if they're not certified by the 4 years, and say the 4 years come up, if we go to a structure fire and say they're not done their certification in level 1 or NFPA 1001 level 2, which is structure fire, they can be on the scene, but they cannot be participating in the live action. So they would be used either as like a pump operator, like a hose shuttler or something like that. There's always something to do on a fire ground.
Yeah.
So there is ways around it. There is ways around it, and I've found the ways around it for some members that are working out of town, 2 in, 2 out, stuff like that, right? That will not make their certification in the 4 years. But we can get them certified over, a period of 6 years. So if they went with a period of 6 years, which would be great, no department will have an issue.
Yeah.
The problem that's gonna be is this 4 years. So like when you get into like hazmat or that kind of stuff, you get 6 years, right? But you only have 4 years to get that Ontario seal. Over and above that, you can take the 6 years. So like you got confined spaces, structure collapse, rope rescue. We don't do any of that stuff, right? So you get an extra 2 years to complete that stuff. So
Gotcha.
there's a lot that is coming down the line with this. There's going to be a lot of training that's involved in this. I know that I can probably right now, the way we stand, I've submitted a learning contract, but I can't fully submit it until July 1st when this passes. So with the learning contract, that gives myself and my deputy chief the authority to present the OFM course to the department. So with their documentation of the course. So we can go ahead and do that. I am able to be a proctor. Unfortunately, I can't be a proctor for our own department, so I will have to get another proctor in to do the practice. So we can do all the training in-house. There is some training in the NFPA 1001 level 1, level 2 that cannot be done in-house. As I stated in my report, I did get confirmation there the other day regarding the mobile live fire training unit. We did get approved for it, so it will be here in July. It will be here for 4 days. So I will be putting all the members that need to get their level 1 and level 2 through that training, because that is a big part. After that, they probably will be able to go ahead and do the practical.
Okay, good.
So
Good stuff. Thanks, Ryan.
Any other questions or comments of Chief Petrie? Obviously, there's going to be more meetings that you're going to be attending and things could change, hopefully for the better for us.
I'm just hoping that they open their eyes a little bit bigger, to give the municipalities a little bit more time to go ahead and prepare for this. They're not giving anybody any preparation time. You know, you bring it in February, say July's the day we're going to do it. So, you know, I've talked to the chiefs in Thunder Bay, like meeting and Connor and stuff like that, and they're scared, right? You know, like we all train to the standards that are given to us by NFPA and the old Ontario standards. But there is just not enough time in a year. So if you think about it, NFPA 1001, level 1, level 2, you're looking at 200 hours of training just for those courses.
From volunteers.
From volunteers. And like we've moved their training nights to three nights a week now, or three times a month. And we'll be going, and come September, we'll be going to 4 every Monday of the month, right? Just so we can start knocking things off and stuff like that. I know that's a lot that I'm asking from volunteers, because you know they give me a lot. They give me everything they got. I do understand that they work, and I do understand that they have families and other commitments. So it's getting harder and harder for me to start asking them to take more time out of their lives to do this. And they give me everything. And even on weekends, if I'm available, I'll go in and train with them. And I'm kind of getting to the point where I don't want them to come in on weekends, because I want them to enjoy their weekends. So, but yeah.
Councillor Tedesco.
Ryan, I see this as a perfect storm. You know, there's more requirements put on you, shorter timelines. The people that you're dealing with, that you're working, that are working for you, the volunteers. We've got a lot of people that are 2 in, 2 out, that sort of thing, and that work out of town. They're not going to be able to apply, fulfill the commitment. So as a result, you're going to end up losing some of these guys. some of the young guys will sign up because it's the thing to do, but you're gonna lose some of these people that are saying enough is enough. Then you're gonna end up requiring to have a fire department that will then eventually have to become a professional fire department, so we'll end up having to hire firefighters in the future. And as I say, that's a perfect storm.
It is a perfect storm. So like I mentioned, I think at the last council meeting, in my eyes, this is only my opinion only. What I think the government is trying to do is they're trying to make all volunteer departments composite fire departments, which you will have to have a certain amount of full-time firefighters and the rest will be volunteers. So like Fort Francis runs that, Kenora runs that. So that's the way I'm thinking it's going from the stuff that I've read and researched and stuff. And it still goes back to 2018 where they were trying to push this as well. And even back then I kind of had an idea, you know, and now it's just more and more, in my eyes, that's the way I'm thinking it's going to go. So, but that's my opinion.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, is there a mover and seconder for a motion to receive the report? Councillor Tedesco. Councillor McDonald. All in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried. Thank you, Chief Petrie. Okay, next up, 8.3 is a report from the Community Development Officer. Do members of the council have any questions of Ms. Davis? Councillor McDonald?
It's not really a question, it's just a comment on how it looks really good, how things are moving along really fast. Like the RV park and just everything in here is like going on a good pace. That's all I would say.
Thank you.
Councillor Muir?
Yeah, everything's going super well. Thank you for everything. Just are you able to give a breakdown of what's going on tomorrow for anybody who's still kind of?
Yes.
Perfect.
So tomorrow morning, so we have sessions 3 times throughout the day tomorrow. So there'll be a couple sessions in the morning, 9 to about 11:30 noon will be for staff. And then 9 to 10 and 9 to 11 will be for local businesses and then tourism and recreation organizations. So that's a combination of both regional organizations that support recreation and tourism, as well as local recreation and tourism businesses and organizations. So the way things are going to be structured is all the groups for that time slot will meet in the Golden Club room. The consultants will do kind of an introduction to the strategic planning process and what's going to be happening. And then we'll split into groups. So then staff will go into one room and then local businesses, tourism, rec will stay in the other. And then similarly in the afternoon, 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock will be local organizations and then regional organizations. So they'll all meet together in the Golden Club room and then split. And then in the evening, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. will be council and then local residents. So once again, meeting together and splitting. So the evening session from 5 to 7 is open to all members of the community. There will be refreshments provided, but it is a discussion period. So it's a chance for members to, there'll be kind of questions that will be asked and we can discuss those questions, and the consultants, McSweeney, will be taking notes of the feedback that comes out of those sessions. So this is kind of an information gathering from on the ground residents of the community, and then they'll be coming back in April with all of this feedback kind of categorized. And then we get to prioritize those themes that come out of this.
Is there still room available for the 5
Yes.
to 7?
So the invitations at the beginning were to make sure that we had a core representation from across the community. And then we've opened it up to make sure that we had our minimum numbers met. So now it's open to all residents. The Golden Club room. Yeah. So everything starts in the Golden Club room.
Councillor Muir?
Are they going to be taking pamphlets over and questionnaires over to the school? See what all the kids want? That'd be awesome.
We
No,
were
honestly,
hoping-
that's a demographic that we never asked them what they want.
Yeah, so we were hoping to get the
Yeah.
youth engaged. It's a little harder to engage the little guys. So invitations have been sent out to the high school. The guidance counselor at the high school has been kind of trying to get more youth involved. I've reached out to a couple youth in the community. It is a different audience to get engaged, but we are able to sign off on volunteer hours for anyone who still needs volunteer hours from the high school.
Awesome. Awesome.
Item J in your report, the RFP for the website.
Yes.
So you're just going to be going through those?
Yes, so everything's gone ahead with the funding. I have 5 responses from that. So the recommendation from those RFPs will be coming at the next council meeting, the first one in April.
Great, thank you.
And so item M is just the requesting direction from council. There is the Rural Transit Solutions Fund for a new Golden Club van, which is 80% funded. So what they are requesting, or what I'm essentially requesting from council, is that direction to write a letter of support, which will then be signed by the mayor to go along with this application for the Golden Club.
I don't think there's any issue with supporting that. Yep.
Thank you.
And do we have a timeline of when the, I guess the Brompton Road field work will be starting this spring?
Yes, so notices will be going out to the impacted members about 2 weeks before everything happens. Main rehabilitation for the relining section of Newton, Frost, and Stadler, that will be happening about the end of May into the beginning of June. So we're looking at about a 2-week period for 2 to 3 week period for that portion. There will be temporary water supply provided, so everybody will still have potable water. It may be closed off for a couple hours throughout the day as they work through the sections. And similarly with the Brompton Road section, they will be starting to move stuff down the beginning of May. And then they're starting with the sanitary, the sewer lines first, and then they'll be working on the water mains. So sewer first, then the temporary water supply will be set up, and then they'll replace the water mains.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments on the report? Okay, seeing none, is there a mover and seconder for motion to receive the report? Councillor Park, Councillor Muir, all in favor? Hands rising, motion is carried. Thank you, Ashley. Okay. 8.4. Report administrative activities. Do any members of council have any questions of Mr. Figurini? No? Okay, seeing none? No, that's fine. Is there a mover and seconder for motion to receive the report? Councillor Park, Councillor Tedesco. All in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried. That's my paper. Okay, next item 9.1 is a bylaw to set facility rental rates and specified fees and charges for services. Do members of council have any questions? This was brought up at last meeting and you had the opportunity to ask for any other additional information. Councillor Tedesco.
Mark, do you see any significant changes or basically a little bump up here and there?
Yeah, as we talked about last time, there's a couple of new additions. There is some changes based around increases in fees on the time it takes to do those specific tasks.
We don't
And-
do curb cutting anymore.
No, and then yeah, it's just your annual increases. So this includes all your fees and charges, including water and sewer.
So the increase in water and sewer, that is your flat rate? Am I correct in that?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, that's an increase to your flat rate. It will also reflect as an increase to your consumption, but we can't set that because, you know, we can't measure consumption. So it goes back to the recommendation and the weight, the water and financial study that we undertook as a municipality. So that number is an increase based on that document, and what it represents is about 5% of an increase.
So for a residential, it goes up by $2.35 per month. If I'm doing my calculations right. Multi-residential, it goes up by $1.12 per month, and commercial is $4.95. So sometimes when we say something goes up by 5%, that sounds a lot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So per household, it'd be $2.35 if it's a flat rate. Okay. Just making sure everybody understands what that hike, what those numbers are.
Yeah, and then this sets our fee structure for the year that we use for all fees and services.
Any other questions or comments on the bylaw? Seeing none, is there a mover and seconder for a motion to approve the bylaw? Councillor Muir, Councillor Park. All in favor? All hands rising. Motion is carried. Okay, there's no new business. Unfinished business. There are outstanding. Any members of council have any questions? Okay, seeing none. We're not going back into closed session. So bylaw to confirm proceedings of council. Can I have a mover and seconder for a motion to pass the bylaw? Councillor Muir, Councillor McDonald. All in favor? All hands are rising, motion is carried. Okay, at the time being 7:48, there's no new business to attend to. The meeting is adjourned.